Jessica, sorry. This is our second take because I forgot to hit record.
Proper introduction.
Oh, hi, Jessica. This is Jessica McDonald, if you don't know who she is. I'm sporting her North Carolina jersey here, uh, wearing it, and then I have her Chicago Stars. That was your original jersey. That was the team you were drafted by, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then they did you dirty and you left.
Yeah, just like every other club, huh?
Yeah. Well, that was a different ownership. I don't know who the
I
new
know.
ownership
Yeah.
is. But how you been? I haven't seen you forever.
I know. I've been great. Been juggling, taking care of puppies, Jeremiah, my new place. I just moved into a new place. Been putting a lot of furniture together too, which has been very fun.
I
I forgot
saw
how
that.
much fun I actually have putting stuff together. And I'm actually pretty good at it, so I'll pat myself on the back for that.
Yeah. Did it come with direction? Did you use all
It
the
did.
screws? Did you had all the screws? Everything was in place, or did you have extra? Don't lie.
There were extras for some of them. Um,
Where were they supposed to go?
there was one I was like hammering. There was like a bunch of screws that I was hammering into like a shelf pretty much, but there was like no other places to like put any more screws in it. So that was like one for sure. And then there's a chair that didn't actually come with screws. So now I need to go to Home Depot and get screws for this chair. I'm a little upset about it because I don't want to buy anything else. So
That's always been my biggest problem. Is always have I don't have all the screws because I lost them or they didn't come with them. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, or it's complete and then I have like all these extra parts. And I'm like, wait a minute, and then I'm like, screw it, just whatever. Hopefully it'll last. I'm not handy at all, and I'm never gonna claim to be. But
Well,
if it does work out, I feel amazing.
it's
Like
hilarious.
like like I'll show my like, look, I am handy.
Oh, your poor wife.
Oh, you know how worthless I feel as a husband right now during COVID. You know, everyone that can actually build things and repair the house and all that stuff, the stuff I cannot do,
Yeah.
are like superheroes, and I'm a soccer coach who can't coach, and so I'm just here. I fixed the vacuum yesterday. I did do that.
That's
The
big time. Well done.
Well, I went on YouTube and it told me how, but I
Hey,
fixed it. Got it
YouTube
done.
comes in handy.
I got it done. So for the ones that don't know, Jessica McDonald appears on my podcast every 100 episodes, and this is number 600, which is shocking. I thought I was going to quit at 500 when I remember last time on episode 500. I said I think this is going to be my last one.
Yeah, you were like done, and here you are. Look at that.
Well, because it was right in a month in the pandemic, and I'm like, feeling like we're never going to get out of this thing. I still feel the same way. It's never going to go away. Yeah, it seems like it's turning the corner a little bit because there's more things happening, except California. But Arizona's rocking with soccer, anyways. But
And the weather's amazing right now.
it was freezing last night, Jessica. I was
Yeah,
so cold.
that makes no sense.
It wasn't last weekend, but last night it was freeze. If we're freezing, Nevada, Idaho, everyone surrounding us has to have it worse, or higher elevation like Flagstaff. They're like close to, I think, 0 degrees. It's just, and the wind is ridiculous. But
Yeah, I'll
anyways,
take a hard pass on that.
so this is our time of year we're usually getting scrambling for your freaking camp.
I know.
This is how many years have we done it in a row? Like 6,
Yeah,
and then yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
sad
it's
to.
weird. Like I don't. I like. I'll feel so empty without it this year. It's crazy. I'm sad. I know there's going to be parents, especially those who've come to every camp. There's like a handful of parents who have come to every camp, and I'll feel bad. I feel like I'll be like letting them down for it to not happen this year. But maybe we could do like a virtual one. I wonder, like, would that work?
Yep, you could totally do a virtual one. You could do it on you can do it on Facebook, where it's if they are part of the virtual, they have to get a code, and
Yeah.
it's basically like Facebook Live but invite only.
Yeah.
So you probably could do something like that, which we can discuss more in detail after the podcast. But I think a virtual one would be pretty cool if you want to pull that off. Um, since unless your dogs get in the way, I cannot believe you got 2 dogs.
I can't believe it either. I don't want to talk about them. I just had to kick them out of the room just now.
I can't stand my one dog. My one dog is horrible.
Yeah, your dog wouldn't even let me sleep. Your wife like felt so bad. She was like, "I'm so sorry." Just like kind of just kept climbing on me. I was like, "Oh, fine."
Yeah, Tucker gets excited when anyone new is in the house
Oh,
and
it's all
urinates
good.
everywhere.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
You get urinated on? That's good.
No, I don't get
Okay.
peed on, but they do.
Pee on
Like,
others.
they still pee in the house. They pee everywhere in the house. The crate. They poop in the crate.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I feel like they poop and pee inside the house more than they do outside. And I take them on very frequent walks. Like, I take them a lot, between like 3 and 7 times a day. And I'm like, I don't understand how you guys aren't getting this. It's not quite like potty training a kid. I feel like Jeremiah was a piece of cake potty training, but these two, my goodness. Oh, yeah.
You're stressing me out, right? I don't even want to talk about your dogs. I mean,
I know. That's why I didn't want to talk about them.
all right.
So
We won't talk about
we
the
can,
dogs.
next question, please.
Next topic. So,
I'm sweating right now because of the stress that is putting me on right now talking about it.
so what are you doing now to stay in shape, and what are you doing
Oh,
during this time?
so I just got a lot of equipment because like normally in the off season I go to a public gym. I normally go very early in the morning to work out, and that's when kind of like all the geriatrics are there and like no one knows who I am, at that time. So since everything's a little weird with COVID, I ended up just kind of getting a lot of lifting stuff for my house. So I pretty much have like a mini gym in my home. So I've been working out every day here at home. And then I go out to the field with all of my soccer equipment and train on my own that way. So work on my strengths and working on my weaknesses a little bit. So yeah.
Is Jeremiah picking it up at all?
No, he loves basketball. He's picking up basketball. So
he can pick whatever he wants. He's gonna be great at it.
I know,
But like I told Jeremiah last time I spoke to him, if he wants to be a good basketball player, he needs to get soccer in his life as a prereq for basketball development. Ask Steve Nash.
I agree.
Yeah, you should have Steve Nash on your podcast if you ever start that up.
I know. Yeah. Pray for me, please.
I want to help you start that up.
I know. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I've been training on my own, which has been kind of nice. To be honest, there is a U.S. national team camp that's going on right now. Vlatko Andonovsky, who's the head coach for the USA team, gave me a phone call saying that he was bringing in kind of just fresh, new, young players. So I wasn't complaining at all. So it's nice to kind of be on my own schedule right now and, just kind of be home with Jeremiah. And this is the first year where I've like been with him the most since the day he was born. So it's kind of nice just kind of being home, kind of doing my own thing and, still trying to stay sharp at the same time. So it's going all right now.
Well, if you need someone to come train you, I'm bored. I will fly out there and do a 1 hour skill session and fly home.
I know you would.
Yeah, and I could totally write it off because this whole podcast is a write off. So much so it's going to bankrupt my family. I keep buying more stuff with no income coming in, but it's fun. I'm glad I'm able to do a podcast. I mean, you're my second one today. I had Dr. Lee Hancock on earlier.
Oh, Lee.
Yeah,
Cool.
He was on the Phoenix College one because he played with me in '94. How do you know Lee?
He used to work for Sereno, like back in the day.
Oh.
He actually tried to help me prep for SATs when I was in high school. So he was like my SAT tutor. So
No way. So you're frozen for whatever reason.
No.
Yeah.
Am I clear now?
No, you're frozen forever. I'm gonna pause this for a second, see if we can get you unfrozen. It's a beautiful smile, though. It's like a perfect smile for you. I'm
Man.
gonna pause the podcast and we'll pick it up with Lee Hancock. All right, we're rolling.
Okay, let's roll.
Yeah. So I had Dr. Lee Hancock on with Phoenix College Athletic Podcast, and I had no idea you actually worked with him. So
Yeah, he worked for Sereno. I can't remember what age group he coached. I want to say he coached our 87 girls, if I can remember correctly. But he was also my SAT tutor. He was like the smart coach of the bunch, so he was willing to help me out, and I still ended up at JUCO, but it's a whole nother story. The soccer world's so small, though. That's really cool that you know him. Great guy.
yeah, he's good friends with Tom Byer too. So
Oh, that's awesome.
we're all full circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lee's funny. Yeah. So he played with me in 1994 at Phoenix College. So he's alumni too.
Wow.
So yeah.
I was 6.
What?
I was 6 years old.
Oh.
94. Oh my gosh.
Yes. We're old, not you.
I had
me and Lee.
box at that time.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
We were paving the way for you for Phoenix College, making our mark there so you could come in and have a pathway to Phoenix College, I guess. I don't know. We legitimized PC for you to even go there. So
I appreciate it.
Thanks to Dr. Hancock and myself. So yeah, small world. Before you glitch out on me, before I see you in episode 700, crossing fingers, couple questions I have for you. So what advice would you give to young players wanting to play at the next level, whether it's more on the physical and mental side of training? So what have you learned? What is helpful?
On the mental side, if you want to make it at the high level, you're going to have to be very fit mentally to be mentally competitive. There's always going to be there's always going to be better players out there, but it's your mental competitiveness that can separate you from the others. If it's 90th minute and in a game and y'all are tied 0-0 and you need that one goal, for the 3 points, it's the mental competitiveness part of your brain that would be very helpful in those last moments of games, because your legs are tired at that point. 90-minute games, I mean, you kind of hit a wall, but it's the mental part where you can separate yourself from others. You don't always have to be the most skilled player out there. You don't always have to be the fastest, but your mental competitiveness has to be very sharp. And I truly believe from my own experiences, that's exactly what will get you very far. It'll be very helpful to get far with that type of mindset. I know it's a little cliche to say, but it really is mind over matter. It really is. And so obviously, you have to put in the physical work. You're out there because of your strengths. And I say perfect your strengths. Be great at what you're good at. Work on your craft. Obviously, work on your weaknesses as well. But the reason you're out there is because of your strengths. And continue to work on those, perfect those. And, like I said, work on your weaknesses as well. So perfect your strengths and sharpen your mental competitiveness.
Yeah, I played this past weekend.
Oh dear, how do your bones feel?
4 games, and yeah, and I didn't sub off once because I'm the fit guy, and I was playing outside mid, and how they play it, where I had to go up and back.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just putting my cross country legs because I've been running a lot, and this is the last weekend I'm ever playing soccer again. I was scared to death to even play because I love running so much now. I don't want to lose it. And soccer, the way it's played, especially in over 40s, it was an over 40s tournament. Yeah, it's not good. But anyways, the first game I played, I was horrible. It was so freaking weird. Every time I had the ball, I heard 3-4 people screaming at me, do this. I'm like, I was like, I didn't even know what to do. I would like kick it to the other team. I was panicking, and because the game was so slow, and I was going so fast, and my body was going slower than my brain. It was a big. It was horrible. I felt so horrible. Like I'm not this bad. I am not this bad. And I was, but the second game I didn't lose the ball at all. I'm like, I'm not losing the freaking ball, and I got a yellow card. So I did sub off for a moment, but I came back on. And then Sunday, and I didn't score a goal 4 games until the semifinal match where I was the last kicker on the penalty kick. And if I miss, they would have continued on, but then we won't have to play on Monday. And I made it. We won. And luckily, the team we're supposed to play in the final the next day was another old team like us, and they're like, we don't have enough players.
Oh dear.
Like, thank you. I didn't want to play. There's no way I could have played. I have bruises everywhere. They just keep coming up because all the blood that's been destroyed in my body. I'm getting all these spots. Yeah, and I'm never playing again. Ever. Done. It hurts so bad.
Who are you? Never again?
Never. I scored. My last moment was a penalty kick, and I scored, and I'm done. And I said that before. I'm not playing again. I have bone on bone in my left knee. I'm limping out there because my left knee is just bone on bone. I'm like, I'm gonna fracture my leg.
Replacement?
I'm not. No, I don't. I'm not getting a knee replacement. What are you talking about?
I'm just asking.
Eventually, I'm gonna have to, but I have no cartilage right now in my left knee, in between my femur and my whatever.
Anyway, yeah.
It was a horrible experience, but I did have moments where I played well. But there's times I'm just like, I didn't even want the ball because I was too tired, or mind you, I had to run every time we lost the ball. It was annoying because I had to run like 70 yards back. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I want to hide up front. That's my favorite spot. You just walk and sprint. I had to like jog a mile, then sprint, jog a mile, and sprint. It was horrible. Anyways, but yeah, so physical and mental, I went through all that this weekend, and I'm never coming back.
It all went kind of out the window.
Yeah, done. I scored my last touch ever in a real game. I scored, and I'm out. Never going back. This is my second retirement, by the way.
Good. Okay. Just take a bow and walk away.
Out. Now I'll play again like in a 3v3 PC thing where I'll take you on or be on your team or something like that, but not a real 11v11. I'm done. Never again.
Oh, the alumni 3v3 tournament. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, that's
3v3 or 3v6? No, it's 3v3, right?
3-on-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. If we ever open up at Phoenix College, it'd be something we'll consider if we're allowed to. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't even want to ask those questions because I'm getting sick of hearing like no. So I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to wait.
Jeez.
So next question, as I took this podcast in a different direction, soccer advice would you give for? Or no, not soccer advice. We handled that. How has adversity helped you in your life and career?
I think I will get a little personal here. I was raised in a very hostile environment. I witnessed things as a child that like no human being should ever witness, and so I had a very strict mom. She's very strict. She didn't let me do anything, and the only thing she allowed me to do was play sports. I was allowed to like go to the park and go play sports, And so I used that as a coping mechanism. I always wanted to get out of the house because it was just a very horrifying household to be in. And so since I was allowed to play sport, which is what, I figured out as a little girl I was good at, I was able to use sport as a coping mechanism. And so whatever got me out of the house, I took advantage of that. And man, I ran with it. That's for sure. So what I mean by that is that anytime I came into an off season and there was another sport that I could play, I did it. So I could stay out of the house. And, you name it, I played it. I was quarterback 1 year for football team. I played softball, volleyball, you name it. I was doing it. I was doing it all, just to kind of stay out of the house. And I was able to transition that into, my pro career because, life's hard, we all go through adversity, et cetera, et cetera. And so, with that being said, any kind of stress that's going on in my life outside of soccer, I'm able to, you know, kind of use training, use weight training, soccer practice, whatever the case may be, as a coping mechanism. That's my way to release stress. And so I guess that has been a huge part for me as an adult and as a professional athlete is the fact that, my career, I am a pro athlete and I'm able to use, working out as my coping mechanism to be able to just kind of push forward, with my life outside of sports.
So in addition to that, as you're dealing with adversity and struggling through those things, how can the fact that you overcame them and adversity is always, I mean, it's hit you quite hard because I don't know many people from the tough areas you came from, the circumstances you came from, that actually make it. Because you shouldn't have been at UNC. That was a process, and you had obviously you had a lot of help, and you needed that. But a lot of people quit, and I see it time and time again. People just quit. Why didn't you quit? I know you thought about it. Why didn't you pull that final trigger and just quit?
So, my parents were multi-sport athletes, and this is what kind of has driven me throughout my life. I kind of keep looking back at their lives. So, both of my parents are multi-sport athletes, incredible athletes. I read a newspaper article, that my mom was supposed to be the first woman in the NBA. That's how incredible of an athlete she was. I mean, full ride scholarships, any and everywhere. Same with my dad, but they never took their ticket. They had a chance to, do something with their lives, and so they didn't choose that route. They didn't take their ticket, so they used, having children as an excuse. My mom had my brother and I before graduating high school. My dad had children pretty early in life as well, and so they kind of put their dreams and hopes, kind of on the back burner a little bit, because they didn't take advantage of that. And so I guess I sort of didn't want to follow in their footsteps and just kind of give up so easily. At that point, I had my knee injury. I fully ruptured my patellar tendon. Docs told me, like, hey, there's a very small chance that you'll play at a high level again. Like, your abilities, your strengths, you're probably going to lose, most of them. And so, I was told I wasn't even supposed to play anymore, really. And then I had my son. And so I still didn't even want to use those as an excuse to just give up. And so I continued training. You had me out there coaching as well, but I was training with the boys. And so I just wanted to continue to be surrounded by a team environment, and so I started to feel good again. And, I still didn't want to follow in their footsteps and just give up that easily. And there have been many times I wanted to, so many times, throughout my career, I was like, oh, this is it for me. I'm retiring. But then I look back, I'm like, crap, I can physically still go. And, I had to grasp onto that and continue to use that as motivation, literally. And so it's literally because of my life struggle, through my parents, is what kind of keeps me going, to be honest. And obviously, I want to make Jeremiah proud. I want to show him that, it's hard work. There's going to be days it's going to suck, but if you have a goal, set it and don't stop until you get there.
Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to see you actually go through that process, and I know I had my doubts too. I had no idea you were going to be where you're at today. I was just being a friend and just helping you in any situation you're in. So it is. I would have never bet on it because you don't bet on things you've never seen, because I've never witnessed it before. Let's go on the next question, because it kind of ties in to kind of what where you're at is importance of goal setting. So how have you set your goals in your life, And any suggestions on how to start goal setting for aspiring soccer players?
Yeah, man, like if you are inspired by something, it doesn't even have to be soccer players, just anything. Find your purpose. I guess that's one reason why we're here on earth. Find your purpose, find what you love, and be great at it. Why not? Why not be great at something that you love? Because I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of people who really hate what they do. They hate what they do for a living. I hear the complaints, I hear, the stress behind their voices. And so it's like, well, why are you doing something that you don't really want to do, that you're not really enjoying? Like, do something that you really enjoy and be great at it. If it's something that you're good at too, why not be great at it? And so it kind of ties into soccer. If you're good at soccer, you can be great at it. You can find that within yourself to be one of the best. You really can. You just have to separate yourself from others. If you have this drive, and to surround yourself with a great support system as well. But you know we all need to be inspired by something in our lives. Without it, life can be depressing. Like, what are you doing with your life? And so why not live the one life that you get, doing something that you love and enjoy?
So let me ask you a question about uh, your ultimate goal. So if how many people actually knew you wanted to win a World Cup? I mean, really knew what you were really searching for. I mean, um, a lot of people keep like goals that seem unattainable to a lot of people, keep it a secret.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a secret was it that that was your goal, to be on the U.S. Women's National Team and being at a World Cup?
There were two people who that I told that to while I was pregnant. I was pregnant with my son, still recovering from my knee surgery, and I told it to two people. I took them to a U.S. Women's National Team game that was being played in Phoenix, and in the middle of the game, I just kind of came to a halt, and I literally envisioned myself on the field with them. I don't know where it came from, but this is a time where, like, I was barely training. I was coaching at this point. I'm thinking in my mind at the time that I was transitioning, into my next career, whatever it would have been. And so this is when, like, me as a professional soccer player was kind of at a halt in my life, obviously. And so I told them during the game, and it's wild because when I made the World Cup team, I told them that I made it, and they were like, "We cannot believe you did that." And I'm happy that I do have witnesses. Like, they're my two witnesses that I spoke, and I brought it to light. And it was Joe Jaju and Carlos Villa.
Really?
Those are the only two people who I've ever told that to in my entire life. I've never told anybody anything like that. No one except those two.
And those two would believe in you. I think those are two safe bets to give that to, and but if you let the world know, like, or put on Twitter or something like that, so many people would have ripped you a new one during that process.
Oh, no, for sure.
And that's why you got to keep those secret. Your goals, like, if you have an unattainable, I have goals my wife doesn't even know about. No one knows. I won't I won't divulge them because the fear of, obviously, failure. But I don't want anyone ripping them off, tearing me down for having those goals. It's what allows me to keep going.
Yeah,
I need something to
absolutely.
chase.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, Jessica, you're so glitchy, and at least the audio is decent, and that's all I really
Okay.
care about. But we're hopeful on episode 700 that
Yes.
that we're less glitched, and maybe I'm big time by then, and I'll fly you in and then get you out of here for a quick podcast when I go big time with my secret goals.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll be waiting for those.
I hope so. So, anything else? Do you need anything,
Uh,
Jessica? What
no,
can I
I don't
do
think.
for you?
Um, I can't think of anything on top of my head.
All right. Well,
But
just
you
text me.
are an incredible friend, and just know that I am very grateful for you and having you in my life. I have mentioned you in some interviews from time to time because I feel like since you've been in my life, literally my very first training session with the Phoenix College men's team with you guys, like, you know, you've definitely brought me into your life, and your support and friendship to me has been so consistent. And I haven't said that even about, my own best friends, whom I've grown up with, like people I've known my entire life. But like for you, man, you've been just like so consistent in my life, like through the ups, for damn sure the downs. And I'm just grateful to have you, in my life throughout my journey. You've witnessed a lot, and I think it's a very interesting story, my life, and for you to be included into it. At the end of the day, I really am grateful, and I thank God for people like you being in my life. So yeah, I'm just thankful that, regardless, like you're here for me, whether if I need anything or not. Like you're picking me up from the airport and dropping me off all the way in like Levine to go pick up a car. Like, you know. Or was that surprise? Like, where was that?
I don't. Oh, what surprise?
I got surprised.
Yeah,
It's
that
like
was
an hour
surprise.
drive.
No, it's a good way to catch up.
I
I'm your
know.
Arizona Uber driver.
Amen to that. Very true.
No, I appreciate our friendship, and yeah, I don't think there have been much of one if you didn't come to Phoenix College, because I do have a tender heart for anyone that went to Phoenix College, and that just kind of in my nature where I'm at. I love helping Phoenix College athletes, and because they're similar to me. I wish I had more support, during those times, and
Yeah.
access. And I like giving anyone access if they're putting their time into Phoenix College, which helps our institution grow. And we're I obviously enjoy our friendship, and you made up a ton of. I owe you nothing. I owe you for taking me to the Diamondbacks game on the field. That was so cool. Me and my wife had a blast.
Yes.
So, uh, you almost made the pitch. That was
Oh,
the only disappointing moment. You were so close.
inches away. It like hits the base. I was like, oh my goodness.
Now, mind you, I did offer the Phoenix College mound to you to practice, but you should have took the reps at PC.
I should have,
Should
to be honest. Now I regret it.
Yeah, because it'd been so cool if you just freaking whipped it and be like with all this power. That's what I was envisioning, and it would have been an ESPN highlight. That's what I was hoping. But you're freaking busy. You're limited on time. But if we could if you get another pitch, make sure you get some practice and just throw it hard as you can. Doesn't make it, or goes over or whatever. Just whip it. Don't even mess about. So,
Oh boy.
anyways, well, thank you so much for being on episode 600, and we'll have you back for episode 700 in, I don't know, 120 days from now, something like that.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Jessica, thanks for coming on, and we'll talk soon.
All right, Dave. Thanks for having me.
All right, see ya.